we have a legal team. The global Sumud Flotilla has a legal team that is working 24/7 in relation to. I think they're back up in court in 4 days from now. So hopefully we can get our two comrades out within the 4 days, and then hopefully we can the rest of the flotilla can set sail again and hopefully get to Gaza to break the siege and show some humanity and love to Palestinian people.
Welcome to our program. Our guest today is Robert Murphy, an international Irish solidarity activist who put his beliefs into action by joining the Sumud Freedom Flotilla, a courageous humanitarian mission aimed at breaking the Israeli siege on Gaza and delivering aid to its besieged people. Like many of his fellow activists aboard, Robert paid a price for that stand. He was detained by the Israeli occupation forces before being forcibly returned to his home country. Despite everything, his voice remains firm and his commitment to the Palestinian rights unshaken. Robert, welcome to the program and thank you very much for your courage.
Thank you for your time today, and it's an honor of mine to be with you here today and to try and paint a picture of what has happened over the last couple of weeks in relation to our Freedom Flotilla that was bringing hope, food, medicine, baby formula, and love to the people of Palestine.
Yeah, Robert, my first question to you, what moved you personally to join the Freedom Flotilla? Was there a specific moment that made you decide to take this step in your life?
It was probably a couple of moments over my adult life that has led me to where I found myself over the last 4 weeks. And fundamentally, all those moments, I do believe, go back to humanity, caring for other people, and human rights. And social justice.
Yes, and Robert, now may you walk us through what happened when the Israeli occupation forces intercepted your ship? What exactly happened? How did you feel? What did you tell the people with you on board? Tell me about the general situation that prevailed during that moment.
If I could say from the start of the mission in Barcelona,
yes,
I can speak for my comrades that we were all very nervous. Not only did we have to sail to Gaza, but also we knew that the IOF was going to try and detain us at some stage on the voyage. So we were in a state of alert from the time we left Barcelona, and everybody was just reacting, living hour to hour, day to day, week to week, till finally we started to notice that something was happening on the evening of interception.
Mm-hmm. And how did the Israeli forces treat you? How did they justify their interception of the ship? And what was your response to that?
So, to be honest with you, they didn't try and justify the reasons for interception. We were going to be intercepted whether we liked it or not. They enforced power, they enforced authority, they enforced cruelty from the second we had interception with them, but we knew this was going to happen. We knew we've been seeing for 2.5 years now what the Palestinian people have gone through, and we know they're an evil organization and an evil government.
And how many comrades were detained with you?
So on our boat, which was the Magic Boat, it was also called Jaffa because of a village that we named the boat after, Jaffa in Palestine. There was 8 people on my boat. And by the time we finished on the evening, there was 182 people rounded up on different boats across 121 different boats brought onto the prison ship.
Yeah, and tell me, what did the Israeli occupation officials tell you when you were in detention for 48 hours?
So they didn't really explain a lot. So it started with being processed, and what I mean by being processed, searched, jewelry taken off, if you had money, taking your money, taking your wallet, taking your watch, taking your passport, taking excessive clothes. It started with that processing first. Nothing was said to us. We were put into the yard and the containers to sleep in, and we were told absolutely nothing. We were given some water and some food, but we were told very, very little over the course of nearly the 2 full days, the 42 hours.
Yeah, and what was the reaction back home when you returned? What did your community, your friends, your family, the people around you, I mean, how did they welcome you back?
Our support here in Dublin, in Ireland, is absolutely fantastic. And I would say, like, my neighbours, you know, a couple of doors away from me here, very supportive. My community is extremely supportive. And you've also friends that you haven't seen in years that would have reached out to me over the last couple of days with full solidarity in relation to the cause that, and the siege that we're trying to break. Yeah, so our country is very supportive. Unfortunately, we are not at that tipping point that my government is reacting more to the situation, and we also see that with other governments across Europe. For whatever, the Israeli government seems to have a hold over all these governments in Europe.
Yeah, and tell me about the media back at home. Did the Irish media pay attention to what happened with you? Did they cover your story?
Yes, they did, but again, there's biases there. You know, our national broadcaster, I do believe, doesn't portray the plight of the Palestinian people in the way that it should be portrayed. There seems to be a bias there for whatever reason. We'll probably never find out the reason or who's influencing them, but there's definitely a bias, and that bias also is fed from the government as well. So, you know, Ireland, we're very lucky. We've a great country here, but there is underlying tendencies going on that we need to be very aware of.
Yes. Today, the United Nations demanded Israel that it should release the comrades Saif Abu Kishk and Tiago Avila, because all the activists were released except these two from Spain and Brazil. How do you see the United Nations move or the United Nations statement pressing Israel to release them? Is that enough, you think?
No, it's definitely not enough. I do welcome the statement, but I think we've seen over the last couple of years the United Nations, they're making statements, but they're not following through. They're not following through. Everyone seems to be afraid of the bully that is Israel, and its backer, the United States of America. So the UN has lost credibility in my opinion, and also the EU, the European Union, has lost a lot of credibility, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, different media outlets, and I think the UN statements also signal to that Avila and Saif Abu Kishk were subject to torture at the hands of the Israeli occupation forces. Do you have any information about that? Are there any contacts to make sure that their situation is good and if they are going to be released in the near future?
I've no up-to-date information in relation to the torture. We would have seen the torture going on on the prison boat when we were there for the 42 hours. So I can definitely verify that there was a level of torture, and that torture was in sight of everybody that was on the other 180 people. My thoughts and prayers are with them every single hour. Until we get the two people out. And like, I've worked with Saif and Tiago for the last year now, since the global march to Gaza in Cairo last year, and subsequently the previous flotilla. And they're two incredible people. They're two absolutely, really passionate humanitarians that just want to change the world and want to make social justice level and for everybody across the globe. And we, people need to stand up and really get behind the two of our comrades that are being held.
Yeah. Is there any effort by the international solidarity movement to have rallies, demonstrations, protesting as detention of these two symbols of humanity and justice, pressing their governments to intervene and push Israel to free them?
There is a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and we have a legal team. The global Sumud Flotilla has a legal team that is working 24/7 in relation to. I think they're back up in court in 4 days from now. So hopefully we can get our two comrades out within the 4 days, and then hopefully we can the rest of the flotilla can set sail again and hopefully get to Gaza to break the siege and show some humanity and love to Palestinian people.
So, and this is my final question to you, Robert. Would you do it again, knowing what you have known? I mean, you experienced the Israeli forces' violence, the detention, the way they treated the solidarity activists. Would you do it again?
I would do it again. Yeah, I would, because I think fundamentally the world is in trouble, and I think that if we don't act, I don't know where we're going to end up as a race, as human beings. I think the world needs to stand up to Israel. They can't continue doing what they're doing. Humanity can't allow them continue doing what they're doing, because I do think we're in trouble. I would do it again, and I'm going to do a lot more stuff for Palestine over the next days, weeks, months and years. I will never forget about Palestine.
Really, it has been a great honor having you on our program. Thank you very much, Mr. Robert. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Osama. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And from me, Osama Nazal, have a nice time.